Hey, what's up guys? Tukey here, back again with another episode of Project Tranmere, where things are going quite well. At the beginning of our third season, we find ourselves at the top of the League 2 table, only 12 games in, but still we are at the top of the league table for the first time throughout the course of this series in terms of how the squad's looking. We've never been better. The youth academy side of things, things are still looking quite well. For us, things are looking quite well. Things are looking quite good. Things are looking well. There's ways to phrase it. The point is, things are looking up for the Rovers, and this could be a very special year. That said, we're going to jump right into it. Let's get down to business. The first thing that we have to worry about is upgrading our scouts. We're going to take a look. Andrew Ennis has served us well. But before we send out our next batch of scouts, let's see if we can get an upgrade. I think it is time. Money-wise, we'll be able to afford it. I mean, transfer budget's out of control right now. The wage budget would still be fine for players in this league. Now is as good a time as any to upgrade it. You know who you are, who mentioned that in the comment in the last episode. You know who you are. It was a good call. And there is a four-star, Jamie Carter. 2.3 million. That is a steal. Let's sign him up. Jamie Carter, welcome aboard. Ewan Cooper will stay for the moment, but in time will eventually be replaced. So that said, as we get into the scouting, there are quite a few nations that have quite a few votes, but there is one that is ahead of the pack, which is where we'll send Thomas Walsh, and that is to the fine nation of Norway. The most popular request right now is to go to Norway, so we will over the next 3 months. Jamie Carter, your first assignment, guess what? You'll be staying in a similar spot. You're going to Russia, buddy. Have fun with all of that. And Ewan Cooper. Ewan, buddy, there's a lot of places you could go, but by popular request, you, sir, are going to the fine nation of Slovakia. So there we go. A very European-centric scouting group this time out. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, money-wise, we're still looking good. In terms of having to re-sign anybody, the wage budget is still fine. There's no way anybody in this current group of players would be requesting that much money. And if we continue to have as good of a season as we've been having, it's not really going to be all that big of a concern. So let's go ahead. We'll get down to business. I do want to make a lot of progress, perhaps. Admittedly, it's always, is it bad when I'm like, okay, I want to say it properly. I've had people rip me apart for saying progress instead of progress. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at English. That said, I want to make a lot of progress in today's episode. So I will see you guys in a month. Will we still be top of the league table by that point? Let's find out. Another month is in the books. If you thought we'd still be at the top of the table, congratulations, you were right. Not by much, but you were right. We currently have 2 points on Shrewsbury. It was a very busy month in terms of games played. We started off, actually, let's take a full look back at the month of October. 2-0 win against Mansfield, 2-1 win against Rochdale, whatever the hell. Shrewsbury, we lost 2-0, unfortunately. Followed that up, though, with a 5-0 thrashing of Oldham Athletic. We end up losing to Yeovil on the weekend, and then the big match, Carabao Cup against Crystal Palace, where we lost 2-0. So that journey finally came to an end. We were able to rebound on the weekend, beating Newport County 1-0, and we follow that up, of course, now. This weekend, we'll be playing Carlisle, although, before we get to that, we have our first reports, as we'll accept this loan offer for Patrick Cox, although I doubt it goes through, and Afrani didn't leave on loan. So let's take a look. Our first reports from Russia, Slovakia, and Norway, and we start off in Norway. We have Thomas Anderson, who will not be signed. We get Thomas Lund. I'm going with Lund, who will absolutely be signed. Why the hell not? Harold Strand. Not going to happen, sir. That you're not real. That's not a name. I'm calling you Eric Fredrickson. You're not being signed. And Jonas Rasmussen We'll continue. I mean, we have room in the Youth Academy to sign him. I'm pretty sure he'll just end up being released at a later point. We go to Russia. Vasily Berezovsky will be signed for the same reason. Intrigued to see what his actual position ends up being. Kirill Moskovin is not going to be signed. Stanislav Yevtushenko. There we go. Will also be signed. Same thing. Probably will be cut in the future. Artem Zaitsev will not be signed. And Oleg Krupin will also not be signed. So Russia was okay. But we haven't had that one true dynamite player yet. Will we find him in Slovakia? Aril Slavik will not be signed for obvious reasons. Gabriel Blaha. Interesting, but no. Will not be signed. Dominic Zelin will not be signed. And Lubos Tesarek will also not be signed. So Slovakia was a gigantic swing and a miss for us. In terms of the Youth Academy at the moment, Eligio Velasquez will probably be cut in due time. We still have some players here, though, where it's a wait-and-see kind of deal. Berezovsky, though, is a 65 overall, or 65 or 67 with 65 potential. He might be worth signing immediately. I'm going to be intrigued to see what that potential is, but he could be a massive addition to this team. I'm going to wait. Hopefully that potential doesn't drop too much, but he could be a great signing for us. We still have some half-decent keepers. Eugenio Gelano, also looking like a great signing in terms of potential. The overall is a little bit low, however. The Youth Academy is looking solid. Alexiou Lampros, the Greek, will be released. And we'll take a look. Was there anybody else at the bottom? Abu Belghazi out of Morocco will also be let go of. So we'll continue to keep an eye on the Youth Academy. No additions, though, at the moment. I'm intrigued to see how we do in this game against Carlisle. Sip is currently out injured. Aside from that, we're looking okay. So with Wilson gone, we're actually going to play Medved at center back. He's got a decent amount of height, if I'm not mistaken. 6 foot. He can actually play center back. We'll put Kovac on the bench. And with that, we're looking good. Clark, by the way, up to a 76. So this roster continuing to improve. We were very Moritz Meyer focused in this last training session, trying to get him up to a 73. Let's see what happens in this game against Carlisle. A win here will secure our spot at the top of the table. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1, and it's a 1-0 victory, right with the goal in the 86th minute to give us the 3 points. We're still on a very good pace. Still top of the league table. Will that be the story as we approach Christmas? We will find out very soon. See you in a moment. December 12th, 2020, and Tranmere Rovers are still top of the league. This time out, it's actually Mansfield Town that find themselves in second, but we are still top of the league. To give you a recap over what's happened in the past month or so, because again, it was a somewhat busy schedule. Of course, we won that game 1-0 over Carlisle. We beat Exeter the next week 5-0. Midweek matchup against Cambridge, where we had to use our secondary unit, our second team, and we lost. We end up playing Bury and beating them 2-0. We end up having a midweek matchup against Lincoln. We lose 2-1. And then on the weekend, an FA Cup match against Southend that we won. Take a guess what the lineups were when we lost. Cambridge? Yeah, that was our second team. Exeter? Or excuse me, not Exeter. Lincoln. Of course, we played Exeter earlier. Lincoln? That was our second team. And that kind of brings me to the point of why I've been training up a lot of our lower overall guys. We need that second team that can afford to win these midweek matchups. There's no way we can run our first team into the dirt, especially with us, advancing a few rounds into the Carabao Cup, and especially with us now still being in the FA Cup. We need that second team to still be a little bit more useful, so I guess a little bit of justification as to why I've handled training the way I have. This is our first team right now. Lowest overall guy in the lineup is a 63, whether it be Abelovsky or Park. We're looking good, but it's when we have to rely on Clark, Mason, Cox, Davies, the other Cox, Kovacs, Jackson in goal. That's when we're struggling. So it would be nice to continue to see some higher overalls join this team and, of course, have players continue to develop. That said, speaking of higher overall players joining the team, it's time to take a look at the scouting updates yet again. And we start off with the bang in Norway. Bjarne Johannessen, I believe it would be 69 to a 94 at 6'4". I mean, probably a center back. That would be nice, but we're definitely signing him up. Robert Strand in goal. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Would it be Ovi or Ove? Haugen. The Haugens. Hulk Hogan. He's not being signed, though. Inar Evanson. Great name. Not going to happen, though. Christian Thomason. No. We'll just go ahead and drop you. Hello. Well, I'm going to have to learn how to say that name, aren't I? We're going to call him Ovi. And if he stays on the team, we're going to have him be the number 8. Ovi Anderson, 74 to a 94 potential. Yes, the Norwegian superhero. He's not a wunderkid. He's not a superstar. He's a goddamn superhero. At least he better be by the time he develops. Yusuf Samsarov. Get out of here. Jesus. Yevgeny Burasenko. Get out of here. Luka Zhamnov. Absolutely leave. What is your name? Makari? Would it be Makari? Makari? I'm going with Makari Dubkov. 73 to a 94. Absolutely. Welcome. Vladislav Kudrov will not be signed. And Demyan Manikov. Jesus, this is working out quite well. Norway and Russia paying off for us right now. We end this bout of scouting in Slovakia with Thomas Hornick, who will not be signed. Kazimir Reznik will not be signed either. Cyril Novak can be signed for the moment. And Andre Tessar, we'll sign him for the moment, but let's be honest, as a goalkeeper, we've had so many high-end goalkeepers through the Youth Academy already. Let's be honest, it's probably not going to stay the course. With Velasquez here, 68 to an 84, he's gone. Unfortunately, the Argentinian is going to be released. Johannessen will stay. He's at 57, by the way, at 16 years old. That's a pretty good base. Isidoro Paz will be staying for now, looking like he could be a strong option in the future. Thomas Lund is a 60 at 15 years old. Very strong base for him. Cordoba is a machine and needs to be signed, and probably will be. We do have a few players going out on loan in January. Some players might be coming back as well. So someone like Cordoba will be signed and will be in the second team sooner rather than later. Rasmussen will obviously be released. That's just not going to happen. Berezovsky, oh my god, did he go up? I think he went up. 73 to a 93. We're signing him right now. He's getting into the first team immediately. Yevtushenko, we're going to drop. And then again, the goalkeeping talent that we have is just ridiculous. Galliano as well. A bit low of an overall, but still very promising. Gallardo will stay. Ovi Anderson as well. Oh my god. Yeah, he's going to be signed too. These are the type of players that we need to boost up this second team. Anderson is being signed immediately. We have 2 new additions. Dubkov will stay. Novak can stay for the moment. Manikov is a 36 overall. I'm going to cut my losses now. He's never going to develop. He's just never going to develop. And Tassar being a 48, I'm going to ditch him too. I think that's the one thing where I need to start being a little bit more strict. Like, unless your potential's like Galliano, if you're a 40, like, it's just not going to happen. So, we have a couple of new additions to the Youth Academy, 2 of which have already graduated. Berezovsky was signed last month, Anderson was just signed, and both have already joined the team and will end up featuring in this matchup here. So, let's take a look at how we can set up the roster for this game. Yeah, this definitely improves the second team. No question. The bench is about to get a lot better as well. We're going to leave Altonen on the bench just because of how promising he is. So let's go ahead and put Anderson out on the wing. And lower overall would be Berezovsky. I actually don't know if we want who we would prefer to have out on the wing. I guess for now, I'm going to leave Eklund, maybe? He's in good form. You know, I'm actually going to leave these 2 on the bench just to start. The others are in good form, and I want them to continue. But needless to say, the squad's looking that much better already just with the arrival of these two players. Let's see if we can keep our spot on top of the league table. Can we get a win here with our full strength squad ready to go? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. 3-0 win. Wright goes down to injury. 2 goals for Sip. Not bad. We'll see how long Wright is out for. We have a decent amount of defensive depth, so that might not be the worst case scenario. 3 days. Perfect. So Harrison Wright won't be missing any time. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of simming. I'll see you guys soon. Will we still be top of the league table the next time around? Let's find out. January 10th, 2021. Tranmere Rovers are in first place. Still top of the league table. 55 points through 27 games. Although, needless to say, we have absolutely no room to slip up. But you look there, the goal differential is tremendous, leading the way with 49 goals, which is shocking given, if you remember last year, what that goal differential looked like. Not good. Only 19 goals allowed so far this season. One hell of an accomplishment, I would say, just to see how this team has really started to come together and how we've actually started stringing together some wins. So, of course, we left off with the win. We lost to Forest Green Rovers, which was shocking. That was our first team that started that game, so that was very disappointing. We end up with a 2-2 draw, a 1-1 draw against Lincoln before beating Newport County yet again. Big FA Cup matchup. We do get a lucky draw against Charlton Athletic, and we smash them 3-0. And we also beat Yeovil last weekend 3-1. So a big game here against Bury before having a little bit of time off. We play Cambridge and Exeter later on. You'll notice there at the end of the month, kind of a ridiculous schedule, but thankfully we're at least walking away with some points out of these games, and that's definitely due to us bringing in the 267 overall. So that is a massive factor that improved the team. Now, in terms of training, the one thing I did want to point out, Novak will not be staying. Everyone else we have in the youth academy right now, though, looking pretty good. So I'll actually handle, let's handle training really quickly. And just to give you a look at how we've been handling it, what I've been doing is if someone is close to, going up a point, we go ahead and try to get them over the finish line. So that's what we've been doing. A lot of focus, though, still on the goalkeepers on the squad. Max Jackson is someone that I am a little bit worried about right now. So I was like, see, Wilson. It's worth just getting him over the hump, get him to a 70. It is what it is. But I am worried about Max Jackson. He has been complaining about his lack of play time, even though he does play somewhat frequently. I think that's mainly due to the fact that he expects to be a starter. Eklund's another guy where it's like, okay, it makes all the sense in the world to try and get him leveled up. Let's see if we can do that. So we're still focusing on a lot of our main players, but we're trying to still have that decent balance towards being able to run an effective second team. The further we make it into the FA Cup as well, the better. So we'll see how it goes for us. But Eklund's going to get a lot of the focus here. We do get him to a 65. Kelly goes up to a 62. Wilson somehow, granted, the passing was never going to be a crucial stat, and we've been running him at center back, but Wilson still just a little bit short. But that is how I've been running training, and it's worked out thus far as we are over the halfway point of this season. As we're approaching here, our final report from Norway, Russia, and Slovakia. Before we move on, I already know what nations we're going to next by popular demand. So we will try to loan out Reese Mason. I doubt that goes through. Let's take a look here. We'll start at the top in Slovakia. Hello, Demjan Vojnov. 69 to a 94, 6'6" keeper. Again, not that we need other goalkeepers, but why the hell not? Ivan Korolev will not be brought in. Actually, we started off in Russia. We were supposed to start off in Slovakia. Whoops, I noticed the names, and I'm like, wait a minute, and then I looked at the nation. That's my bad, but hey, the last one was normally Slovakia. You can't blame me for that mistake. Nikita Maximov, I doubt sticks around, but we'll sign him for the moment. Valery Semyonov might also stay. And then Lev Markov will be dropped. So Russia overall was quite kind to us. Over in Norway, oh yes. Thor, would it be Helland? I doubt it. There's got to be a different way to pronounce it. But good old Thor, 69 to a 93. We'll absolutely sign him. Robert Larson, same thing. Doubt he sticks around long term, but we'll bring him in. Would that be Bjarne Dahl? Regardless, you're not being signed. Steinar Johannesson will not be signed. Okay, I've seen this name before, but Jesus, Norway. Yeah, here, how about you try to learn how to help me out, because I'm ignorant to how to pronounce that name. And good old Newt Lund, but we'll call him Nut. We won't, because we're not signing him. So that is it. Overall, not bad. Not a bad set of nations for us. Before I forget, I do want to cut Novak. Yeah, 67 to an 85. Not worth keeping at this point. So Thor is absolutely staying. He's a 47. Johannesson's a 58. I gotta be honest, we loaned out a center back. Decent chance I sign Johannesson right now. Paz is a 70 to an 84, which isn't bad, but again, we're going to be a little bit more ruthless. He's only a 51. We're going to drop Paz, another Argentinian, and bites the dust. Whereas Lund is 15, he's a 60, with a very good potential as well. He'll stay. Robert Larson is a 50 at 17 years old. He's not going to make it. Let's just go ahead and drop him now. Voinov can stay. Slightly low overall, but he can stay for now. Budwani as well is just going to be a beast potentially. Galliano, starting to get concerned, but we could sign him to try and get him some playing time. Gallardo, 75 to an 85. That's not bad. That's still worth keeping. But I gotta be honest, it's a relatively low overall for a 17-year-old. I think I'm gonna drop him for that reason. Same with Maximov, too low of an overall. We just signed him, he's already out the door. Semyonov, he can stay for now. We'll try to get a better range on him. Dubkov will definitely be staying. He's a bit of a beast. And that's that. So I am going to go ahead and sign Johannesson just to bring in an extra defender. And we'll see what happens from there. Actually, we do need to get the updated squad report. We'll do that in a moment. First and foremost, Ewan Cooper. Did I delete the email? Let's take a look here. I was going to say, I thought I only checked two. Matja Cermak will not be signed. Kamil Rybar is one of the worst I've ever seen. Rybar. Havel Burez will definitely be signed. And Boleslav Bartos will be signed as well. Not bad. We'll go take a look at those two in a moment. No, we do not want to fire Ewan Cooper. What we do want to do is set up our next three nations, and this time we only have one nation left in Europe, and we'll actually save that for last, because up first, we're going to Mexico. Thomas Walsh, have a nice vacation, find us some solid talent. Jamie Carter is going to South America as well. He is going, oh my god, no, thank you, Jesus. I tried to hit down from here. I tried to hit down from Bolivia, and it sent me to Peru instead, and I had to go all the way back around. We're going to Chile. We're going to Chile. And the last nation for now, we are going to Switzerland. Good Lord, I need to get a new D-pad. You're just covering for the fact that you have terrible geography. I don't, I swear. It's one of the few things I cared enough about in school. Not one of the few things I was good at. I was pretty good at everything, not really. Math is just the worst. That said, let me take another look here. Borez can stay. Bartos. Yeah, we're signing him. It's not like a crazy good overall, but he is definitely worth signing right now just to bring onto this team. So with that, let's get a quick squad report in, shall we? We'll take a look at the team. So Declan Clark is up to a 76, a +5 on the season. Actually, here, I'll get you a quick look at the goal leaders, as Moritz Meyer and Sang-hyun Sip have been absolutely dominating. I'll let you take a look at the majority of this on your own time. In terms of assists, you probably would have guessed as well, it was Morgan and Sip with 6 apiece. And in terms of clean sheets, 20 clean sheets for Declan Clark on the season, which is just ridiculous. But we will go over to attributes. Let's start off with Clark, who again is having a great season. Hugh Mitchell, who has been loaned out, is up 3. He's up to a 61. Dragicevic is also up by 3. He's up to a 67. So if we do lose Jackson, we have Dragicevic there. We also have Abelovsky, who's a +3 at this point, and Tafari Afrani, who is a +4. So again, the goalkeeping situation, it's going to come to a head sooner rather than later. But right now, we have some strong options with Clark leading the way. Defensively, Josh Wilson's a +2. We'll get him to a +3 very, very soon. Liam O'Leary, who we signed at the beginning of the season, if I'm not mistaken, is already up 6 points to a 69 overall. So with O'Leary and Wilson playing center back for us, the crazy amount of height, we're looking pretty damn good. Johannesson, who we just signed, 3-star, 3-star, medium. He's also 6'4". So we just loaned out a center back. I'll be playing him at center back. That's fairly ridiculous. Simon Kovac is 3-star, 4-star, +2 up to a 61. Not too bad. Mason Morgan, who's been loaned out, is up to a 59. Archie Kelly is up to a 63. Andreas Ferreras is also up to a 63. And Mario Manolic is the guy who we just loaned out. He has gone up by 4 this season. Final set of center backs here. Harrison Wright, 2-star, 4-star, up by 5 to a 66. Torsten Weber is up to a 64. And Conrad Medved, who we also signed this season, 3-star, 4-star. Not too bad with the low-high work rates. He is up to a 64. You also have Ed Richardson. We have a lot of defenders signed. Ed Richardson's up to a 61. Patrick Cox is a 59. He's gone up by 7 this season. Sean Bailey's a +2. Of course, he's been loaned out as we move into the midfield. Lissandro Cordoba demanded to be signed. He wanted out of the youth academy. We ended up bringing him in. He has that crazy potential. 2-star, 4-star, low, medium. Could be a true holding CDM for us, or it could even be dropped back to center back full time with those work rates and that height. Timo Aaltonen, the Finnish wonder, 3-star, 3-star, low, high. He's gone up by 6 this season. Stepan Abelovsky, +4. Brandon Davies, a +4. Max Edwards, who was loaned out, is a +2. He's 19, though. That's someone who we might look to get rid of sooner rather than later. Same for Max Wilson. He's a little bit further along, a +2 this season. Toby Kelly, a +4. You have Ove Anderson, who is a 67. 4-star, 1-star. Very weird setup. A high, medium work rates are solid. Adalberto Luna was 3-star, 3-star, medium low. He's a +3 on the year. Reese Park is a +2. Alexander Eklund, a +4. Vasily Berezovsky, 5-star, 1-star, high-low work rates. What even is that? Eventually, I'm going to play games with this team, even if it is like the Champions League final or whatever. If we're playing in the playoffs, maybe we'll again decide to play those, because at some point I need to play with some of the guys on this team, because this is ridiculous. Like, I need to see how Vasily Berezovsky plays in game. 5-star, 1-star. That's so weird. Reese Mason, a +4. Sang-Hun Sip is only a +1 this season, surprisingly, but he's one of our best players. Sam Cox, a +3 up to a 59. You have Liam Clark, a +3 up to a 61. Jay Morgan is a 67. Moritz Myers, a +3 on the year. Billy Shaw was loaned out. He is a 61. Ilsong Ryu is a +3 on the year. Ewan Morgan, a +2. He's up to a 60, as is Hans Arvidsson. And Alex Garcia is up to a 63. Someone who we could look to recall, actually, if our depth is tested. Jonathan Kelly, a +3 on the year. Elliot Roberts, definitely someone we could look to recall. 3-star, 4-star, low work rates, so kind of a weird one, but the overall is solid. We have Horatio Sanchez, a +3 on the year. And Boleslav Bartos, who we just signed, 3-star, 3-star, high, medium work rates at a 64 overall. What we're going to do is we are going to sim one more month, one more update, and we'll see how things go for us, whether or not we'll still be at the top of the league, and whether or not we get an FA Cup match in that time. No updated schedule as of yet, but we'll see how things go in our final sim period of this episode. February 13th, 2021. And somehow, some way, Tranmere Rovers are still top of the league, if only by 1 point. The top 5 in the league right now is somewhat solidified, to say the least. There's a bit of a drop-off with Accrington and Grimsby having a little bit of space on the likes of Bury, Northampton, there's still some competition there, but I think the top 5 right now are clear. That's not to say Accrington couldn't find themselves in the top 5, as right now we could easily go from top of the league to battling in the playoffs. It's very tough to say how things are going to go over the next 15 games. We still have the best goal differential in the league, not surprising, most goals for, fewest goals against. We find ourselves with a 19-5-7 record. We'll find out in the next episode whether or not we are good enough to make things happen and to potentially get promotion one way or another. If we look back at January, we beat Charlton Athletic 3-0 in the FA Cup. We beat Yeovil 3-1. We lost to Bury, unfortunately, 2-1. We then drew Wolves in the FA Cup. We beat Cambridge 3-1 midweek and then drew Exeter, unfortunately. That was with our second team. Actually, that might have been with our first team after the draw with Wolves. I'm not entirely sure there, but that was disappointing. Exeter's not that good. The rematch against Wolves, 1-0 loss. So unfortunately, we are out of the FA Cup, but that does mean we can focus our sole attention now on the league. We rebounded with that loss to Wolves with a 3-0 victory over Carlisle. AFC Wimbledon's up next. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, though, one thing to note, we did end up losing Berezovsky in that game against Wolves. He is out for about 2 months, if I'm not mistaken, so he's not going to play as big of a factor, but the team itself still getting better, still more well-rounded than we've ever had, and I'm excited to see what we can do heading into the next episode where we will finish Season 3. I think getting through the season in 3 episodes or so is pretty much the best pace we can look to set, while not just overlooking everything and still keeping an eye on the team. That said, we have our first scouting reports back from Mexico, Chile, and Switzerland. Let's see who's being added. Theo Hofstetter is the first name here from Switzerland. We're going to decline him for obvious reasons. Alex Eberle, unfortunately, will not be signed either. Lucas Pfister will not be signed. Jan Montadon, holy hell. Please be a striker or a center forward. Oh my god, Jan Montadon, holy hell, in Urs. Pfister will not be signed, but only one name from Switzerland, but what a name. Jan Montadon, welcome aboard. Carter went to Chile. Geronimo Vergara will not be signed. Eligio Quiroga will not be signed, or Quiroga, whatever, won't be signed. Danilo Moyano will not be signed either. Vicente Cordoba will be rejected. Salomon Velasquez will be rejected. Eusebio Campos will also be rejected. So only one player thus far through 2 reports. Mexico is our last hope for this report. Emigdio Montenegro will be declined. Oscar Montenegro will not be declined. We'll sign him up. Ruben, would that be Saavedra? Would it be Saavedra? Just because of the double A. Regardless, Ruben, welcome aboard. Oh my god, Mexico. Silvio Granero will also be signed. So Switzerland, we get 1 gem. Chile was a bit of a bust, but Mexico delivers in a very big way. Let's take a look here. So Thor, unfortunately, has dropped off, and we will not be keeping him. 65 to an 85. We need to aim for higher at this point. So say goodbye to Thor. Thomas Lund will definitely be staying. We can't even sign him yet, but he's looking like a beast. Montadon, oh my god. He is a center forward. Yeah, we're going to be signing him relatively soon. We need a better backup striker. Yeah, he's going to be signed sooner rather than later. Oh my god. Like I said, Switzerland delivered in a big time way. Budiani, 84 to a 94. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Demjan Voinov now down to a 69 to an 89. He's a 54 at 17, whereas Budiani's a 60 at 16. So Voinov is going to be released. Ruben Saavedra is a 69 to a 93, so we'll keep him here for now until we know for sure. Eugenio Galliano, of course, again, someone else with crazy potential. that we really do need to start focusing on a little bit more. Oscar Montenegro will be staying. I'm so tempted to just sign Montadon right now. Silvio Graniero will be staying, of course. Valeri God, dude, this name. What would it be? I keep wanting to read that as a V, but it's a Y. I'm sorry. Samoyinov. He's not that good. We're going to drop him, and I can't say his name anyway. Whereas Dubkov will be staying as well. So we got a couple of solid strikers in now. And Havel Boris will be staying as well. So the youth academy right now is ridiculous. We just need to continue to train up these players. But Switzerland and Mexico were quite kind to us. One more look, though, at our goals for this season. Youth development, I mean, we're fine. We might not hit the second one, but that's okay. Brand exposure, I mean, that's not going to happen. We could sign someone and immediately cut them, but I'm not going to waste the money. Domestic success, finish mid-table. We're on pace, and we already reached around the 32 in the FA Cup, so we're looking good. We are looking very good. It's just whether or not we can live up to the hype. Can we survive this pressure cooker of a situation at the top of the league? How will things play out? Is it automatic promotion? Is it a playoff spot? Or do we really fall off the pace and maybe find ourselves still here in League 2 for our 4th season? We will find out all of that in the next episode. We are done here for now. Make sure, of course, in the comments below to leave your suggestions for where we should scout next. Countries still on the list where we have yet to visit: Uruguay, Portugal, Egypt, France, Peru, South Africa, Cameroon, New Zealand, Denmark have all been recommended. If I see them mentioned again, of course, they're more likely to be there. But if there's a country that we haven't been to yet, let me know, and we'll go there next. That said, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate the support on this series. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.